Good morning. Welcome to day 72 of the 100-day project. This is day 71. The video's up and you're welcome to go watch. I have my coffee. I have my holy socks. So today's gonna be a great day. Okay, so I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I do know what I'm going to use to do it, if that makes any sense. I was looking through my drawer yesterday and I was looking for background papers for this before I decided on what I actually used. I ran across a roll of something that I bought at the clearance rack. I know, I told y'all I'm over that, but I wasn't back then. It was on clearance and I thought I have to have this. I didn't even know what it was or what it was used for, but it was by Idea-ology. So I thought, oh, well, that's got to be a great product, right? So I got 2 rolls. It was frosted film. At the time I bought it, I thought, I don't have any idea what to do with this, but I'll figure it out later. Well, that was about 8 years ago, something like that. I saw it in my drawer and I thought, okay, well, what is this stuff anyway? What do you do with it? So I looked it up and I could only find like 2 or 3 videos that it had anything to do with it at all. So it must not have been a thing that really took off. I don't know. I've never used it and I don't follow trends. I tend to do my own thing until it sparks my interest, and then when it sparks my interest, it's probably way out of date, and I'm okay with that. So I thought, well, I'm gonna pull that out and I'm gonna play with it and see what I can do. So the videos I found were actually 2 of them were Tim Holtz at CHA, I think it's called. He really didn't even say much about it other than put it on top of something and it gives it a frosted glittery look without the mess of glitter. And in that same video, he mentioned you can use alcohol inks on it and you can emboss it, but you cannot heat tool it, I think, because it will burn. It's very thin. Well, that's all I know. So, and the other video I saw was, I think he made maybe a tag or something. I don't remember now. I quit looking. I was tired last night, so I quit looking. So that's what we're gonna play with. I've never used it. Never. I threw away the box because it was kind of dilapidated. It's probably why it was on clearance. It might have been a hot item and I just missed it 89 years ago. So that's me. But both boxes were dilapidated and I think I paid like $2 for each roll. I've been thinking about it since yesterday when I saw it, and I've been thinking. I've got to figure out what to do with that stuff, just to play with it. I mean, I may hate it, but I'm going to play with it and see what it does. And so that's what I'm going to do after I finish my coffee and put on my holy socks. I went over and got the roll, one of the rolls. I left the other one over there because there's no way I'm going to use all this. And this is what it looks like. Slick on the back because it's adhesive. Glittery, textury, kind of on this side, but not messy, which is great. I did keep this so that I would not forget what it was, because if I didn't keep this, I would not know what the heck this was. It says frosted film, a translucent adhesive backed material, ideal for die cutting and layering to add shimmering effect. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do something really simple just to see how this works and what I think about it. Usually if you do a search for something specifically named, it'll come up tons of videos, but I only found the few. So if anybody here watching has used this stuff before and you know great ideas for it that worked wonderfully for you, put a comment in the comment section below so that anybody else interested in this might get some help from it. I might get some help from it. We all might get help. We need help. I need help. And by the way, I have more than one pair of socks that has holes in it, so it's not like I'm wearing the same pair every day, okay? All right, what I want to do right now is keep it simple. So I've got my drawing pad out, which is a very fine paper. I can't tell you the weight. It doesn't have a weight on it. It's just something I get at the grocery store that I use all the time, but it's a 9x12. It says heavyweight, but it's not really heavyweight. It's very lightweight, but it's heavier than copy paper, but I find it very easy to work with and cut. We'll use that in a minute. But I went over to my table of disarray over there. I found one of these pieces that I had done, I don't know, pre the 100 days, where I totally flubbed it up. I don't like the outside edge of this piece. I love the center. I really would have preferred a border, I think. I grabbed this ATC panel, and it's a board that's the ATC size, which is 2.5 by 3.5. And if you don't know what an ATC is, it's an artist trading card. You make them, you trade, you swap, you give away, whatever you want to do, but you don't sell. You're not supposed to. I mean, some people do, I'm sure. I thought what I would do is see if I could get a couple of ATCs out of here, and we'll cover the ATC with the film and see what it does. Let's find an ATC area. All right, I'm gonna go this way on one and this way on one, so we get the best of both worlds. And I'm gonna get my cutting mat and cut it this way. I started this ATC and I never finished it. Now we have a viewer that if you are creating something and you want to know, do I like this for an ATC? You can do this, you can do that, or that. Now we have an ATC, and this is very cute. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the other one since I'm cutting. Maybe I need a tag. Would a tag look good? Okay, I've got everything cut, and you don't have to use one of those mats. The only reason I used that is because it was actually sitting here. I got my ATC cut out, and I have a tag. And then I had a little bit left over, so I took one of these tags we made out of this big sheet a few videos back. I don't have any holes in it yet because I'm going to put my film on first. Let's start with the ATC. I need at least enough to cover my ATC. And if I go up this whole width or whole length, I probably have enough to cover my tag. So let's do that. Cut out what I need for this. Cutting it a little bigger, and I wonder if I need my mat that's non-stick for this. This will stick to paper, so let's bring out this non-stick mat I keep under my papers, and then I peel this off. If you take the corner, I just figured this out, if you take the corner and kind of flick it and bend it a little bit, it just comes apart real easy like that. And you're supposed to burnish it down, and I don't have my bone folder over here, so I will just use my scissors. I'm going to cut this excess off real quick before I make any rash decisions, because so far I'm thinking, you can stamp on this, so we'll try a stamp, or you can lay this over something that's been stamped. I'm not loving that so far. Maybe it's not burnished down enough. Let me get my bone folder. So far, I'm not very impressed because this is much prettier without the film on it. Maybe because it's old, it's not working well. I doubt it. I think it's probably fine. I don't love it. I love this, so I'm not covering these because I don't want to lose these. And if I could, I would take this off. Well, I'm happy to have that back, honestly. Let's put this down on a piece of paper. Okay, it's got some marks on it from pulling off of there. There's no instructions on how to use this, and he didn't do anything other than just put it down and burnish it when I looked at his video, so. All right, we'll use this as a test piece. I'll go get a stamp. I'll get my alcohol inks. I'm glad these are salvaged because I really like the colors of these without being covered. All right, I've got some alcohol inks. I've got 2 stamps. I've got my ink pad. I'm gonna take the rest of the one I cut and I'm gonna put it on this paper here and put my stamps on top of it. And I'm gonna try it without the film and then put the film on top. So maybe I'll save part of the film. I'll just use half. Where's the little piece that goes there? What did I do with it? Did I throw it away? No? Yes, I threw it away. Oh my goodness. Are we gonna make it to 100? What are y'all gonna do without me after 100 days? All right, now we're rolling. Okay, I'm gonna stamp these 2. I'm just gonna use black ink. This stamp is from Paper Bag Studios, Robin Marie. When I was on her design team, I was allowed to pick out 2 stamp sets to use for my projects. This is from one of those sets. She doesn't sell them anymore, unfortunately, I don't think. Let's put the ink stamp on paper now, and we'll color some in on paper and then put the frost film on top of the paper. Oh, that's much better on paper. Okay, I want to do this one too. That one didn't come out very good. I'm not pushing hard enough probably. Okay, but at least we got some impressions to work with. I'm going to try the alcohol ink first, and I always wear gloves when I use this, probably because they will stain and never come out. How is that? I don't get it. No film, film, film with no stamp. I'm not gonna worry about the alcohol ink on here. I wanna do it on here. I'm just gonna try like blending a little bit and putting it on the bird. Got a little bit of blending solution. These are little pads that I got with some of these little Ink Essentials blender tools. Put some blending solution on there. It's better if you don't rub, just tap. I've learned just now. I was just going to do part of the bird, but we'll let it sit there and see what happens. Let's go ahead and put the ink on here. Normally I would blend it around, but when I did it on the film, it didn't like it. Now this would be good I like this idea. Do some of your film with the blending of the alcohol inks, and then you have the film, you can cut out different shapes and apply them to your collage and things. I like that. That's pretty. So we know what the alcohol ink looks like. Let me get the markers out. These markers are Sharpie and Infinity markers, both permanent. The Infinity is like a Sharpie. We'll try a Sharpie and we'll try an Infinity. And I want to try the Faber-Castell also. That's not the color that the Sharpie says it is. I don't know if you can tell. That's like grass green and this is like lime green. Let's try the Faber-Castell. I like the Faber-Castell best. You can see the best through it. It's more translucent. And then once this is dry, I can add another color, like in the center or for highlights or something. Different pens work really well, so that's optional. I wanted to color this, and then I wanted to cover it with the film and see what it did. So let's use the Faber-Castell for that. All right, I've got these colored in, and this is not the best coloring job. I mean, you could take your time and do really detailed, but I'm just playing with this product and seeing what it does. I'm not loving what's going on with the bird. I mean, he's just sort of disappeared. So maybe you're supposed to stamp on top of that instead of put the stamp down and then alcohol ink, because he said you could alcohol ink on it, but he didn't say the order of stamping or anything. I don't even know if he mentioned stamping. Somebody else did. I'm going to put down some film on top of this bird and see what it does. I will find a use for it that works for me. I think this one will work best for me, making shapes and coloring them in and using them in collage or something. So I'm going to cut out the birds and then I'll be back and show you what they look like up close. I'm not cutting out the feet until I know what I want to do with them. I should have just cut them off and I'll draw them in, but I left them on there, but they're not cut out. This is the bird that was stamped, colored, and then film on top. And this is the bird that was the film, then the stamp, and then the alcohol ink. I didn't do anything to these. Love these. And this one, I just cut out a weird shaped flower, which I can use. Now, this is the way I think I would love to use it. One thing I am curious about is how does it take acrylic paint on top of it? I'm going to put some acrylic paint on top of the film, and I'm going to put paint on paper and then put the film on top. Oh, one thing I do like is the texture under the paint. I'm gonna let that dry, and then when I come back I'll put this film on top and we'll see what it does. Okay, and I forgot to show you the flowers. That's the ones that we put the film on, we stamped, we colored, and then I cut it out. Same as this bird. And actually, if you think about it, if you make a few things and stick them together like this, it's actually very pretty. So I need to give it some slack. The thing is, I even looked on his website and I see where he makes tags, a lot of tags and things with that frosted look around Christmas and things like that. So this would probably be really good around Christmas. I think for what I do and my, I don't know if I want to say style, I don't even know what my style is, my taste, I think my style is just me. I think that it would be really good for Christmassy things. He did say if you have a paper that is bright and you don't want it that bright and you want to tone down the color, that this is a good way to do it. I don't have any papers like that anymore. I donated all the papers that I thought wouldn't be suitable for me. Anyway, I think this looks really cute together. So maybe I'll make a little something out of that. So we put the film down, I put paint on top. I love that. So I think I would use this film as a texture layer and then put my acrylic on top. This is just painted on paper and we're going to put the film on top and see what it does. And I want to save a little piece of film because I want to try these washi tapes. They're shiny and they're bright. It is giving it a glittery look. So if you're making a card or a tag or something and you want to give it a glittery look, you can apply that on top. I kind of like that. Let's cut out around it just to see without the border. I think that would be cool. If you really want to mute your colors. I happen to like those colors well enough that I don't want to mute them, but it does give it a glittery look. And I do like this, the more I look at it. Okay, let's keep going a little bit longer. So remember the other day when we did all the washi tape cookie cutter ornaments? We traced a bunch of cookie cutters in different shapes and we put washi tape down and then we cut them out. I traced out a tree template and I never used it. So I'm gonna try that for our next test. I'm just gonna trace out a tree. And I'm gonna take my tree and cut it out close to the lines, but not on the lines, just enough to give me an idea where my washi tape's gonna go. And then I'm gonna turn my tree over. This is the side that I traced. I'm gonna turn it over so it's blank, and I'm gonna put my washi tape down. It took a little longer because I had to cut it because it's not papery, so I can't tear it. It's like real tape. So then I turn it over and I'm gonna cut out my tree. Wrong, not doing that. I wanted to put down the film first and then I wouldn't have to cut twice. I just cut one time. So I'm gonna cut out a piece of this film and then I'm gonna put that down. Then I'm gonna cut my tree. Take a good look at what it looks like right now. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna cut out my tree. And it definitely does mute it down. So I'll be back when my tree's cut. Okay, I have to say that the more I use this, the more I am liking some of the possibilities that it has. It does definitely mute down the color a little bit, but it adds a sparkly look. So the brighter the color, the more shiny the color that you use, the more I think appealing it is to me when I put this on top because it doesn't take it down to a wash of nothing. I would definitely use it on shiny washi tape. I would definitely use it on just plain paper and paint on it and cut out shapes. I would definitely put paint down, especially colors that are brighter. This one, not so much. And put it on top to mute the colors. I can see possibilities for this. I like this. And I can give you a side-by-side. Hold on. One of the cookie cutters that we used the other day was a fish, and I used this washi tape for the fish. And I have not covered it with the frosted film. So there's the fish, and there is the tree, side by side. I don't know what you can see. I look up at the little monitor thing on the camera and I can't really tell the difference in the monitor, but it's kind of far away from me. I can definitely tell a difference in my hands though. And I like them both, but I really do like this. I think this is very pretty. This stuff definitely gives a pretty look to some bright colors. I'm very pleased with that. I wouldn't mind making some more out of this washi tape. So I'm gonna do that. And then what I think I'll do is maybe we'll do a little project, but we won't do that today. He's standing in a puddle of water. Isn't that cute? I think I screwed up on this one because when I first put the alcohol ink down, I blended because that's what I do on photo paper, something shiny. I blend like that and it makes pretty colors. But on this stuff, I don't think it's good to blend and scrub. I think dabbing was better. So I shouldn't have dabbed because I lost his eye. I can just add an eye back in though. And I really like this. All right, so we'll recap at the end. All right, I'm gonna do a couple things. I've got a flower here. I'm gonna trace out my flower, but I'm tracing the petals and stuff separately because I'm gonna symbol it. I'm also gonna trace out a heart. I have all my pieces covered, so now I'm going to take the film and I'm going to put it on these two for sure, but I'm not sure I'm going to put it on these because I don't think they need it. Okay, I'm going to cut these two out. Alrighty, I have my heart cut out and my flower. So here's the heart and then the tree. I really like how the tree turned out. I love how this turned out. I really like using it this way. So this way is where you just take your paper, put your film down, do your alcohol ink on top, and then add your detail. So I would definitely use it this way. This is putting the film down and stamping, then putting alcohol ink on top, but don't blend and rub like I did, just dab. And I think it would be pretty, but this one's kind of not so great. This is stamping on paper, coloring it, and then putting film on top. I didn't cut out the feet. That's why they look that way. That's okay. Probably if they were brighter colors, it'd be better. It's not bad. It's cute. You add a flower with it. It's really cute. These flowers I really love. It's the same way. We put the film on the paper, then we stamped on it, then we colored it, then we cut it out. So I like that. This one is putting some paint on paper. Then I put the film on top and it changed the look. It gives it a shiny look, like a water puddle, like a bird standing in the water. So that's nice. I like that. I think brighter paint colors would make it look really pretty. This is not too bright, but it did change the look a little bit. This is just stamped and colored, and I didn't put any film on it because I liked it. I didn't want to cover it. This is where I took the film, put it on paper, and then I just put paint on top of the film, and I really like that because it gives it a nice texture. I think I would use that technique the most. And then I have a flower. These are not covered, but these petals are. And I like the look of that. There's probably more ways you can use this film. I am willing to hear anybody else tell me if they've used it, how they used it. Did you like it? Did you purchase it and not use it? I feel like, for me, I'll use it again. That's all I'm gonna do today. That's all the play I'm gonna do. I am going to probably take these pieces and maybe make something with them. I'll know when tomorrow comes, but for now, we're gonna stop. I want you to tell me if you've bought this, if you've used it, if you bought it and didn't use it. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are, if you've ever used it before. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for day 73. Have a great whatever it is. Bye-bye.